this is the show where we kick ass and we take names and we lock horns with the radical left. We never quit. We definitely never surrender. From sea to shining sea and everybody in between, welcome, Patriots, on this glorious, glorious Monday. And a glorious Monday it is. For those of you all who are wondering, yes, you probably hear it in the sound of my voice. I am definitely giddy. I'm definitely not feeling well. I always do a quick weekend update prior to getting the show underway. This weekend was basically a lot of me trying to recover. Again, my daughter got sick sometime last week, went home from school. And the amazing thing about it is that my kids, I mean, now I feel like they all have it or some variation of it. There's something real. It's all going around Fort Parnell now, but I feel like my kids get it and they're totally little ass kickers. Like nothing bothers them, it seems. But I get it, and it just completely knocked me on my ass. And so here we are. I'm getting better a little by little, but I still really feel pretty terrible. But more than that, I can power through not feeling great, but more than that, it's my voice. I might have my voice crack like a prepubescent teenage boy today, and that wouldn't be good for me or my reputation. It wouldn't be good for the show. It sure as hell wouldn't be good on anyone who's listening or watching the show. That's just embarrassing across the board. But if it happens, please give me some grace as I am trying to power through this show for you all. Make sure you smash that like button, that little green thumb beneath the video. We've made the leaderboard every single day of the week. I can't even tell you the last time we haven't made it, but we make the leaderboard each and every day because of you. We're always somewhere. I mean, I feel like anywhere from 50, which is the cutoff, to I think we were like in the high 30s last week, which is kind of amazing. And that's a testament to you all, folks. That's a testament to the battle crew and the power of this audience. So thank you. Also want to give a shout out to Dan Nunn and the Nunn Report. If you're not following Dan over at the Nunn Report, you definitely should do that. He and the Nunchucks rated the chat today, and we're grateful that they're here. Also, of course, welcome to McGroy Nation. They're all here. And of course, welcome to my battle crew. Now, on to the Army-Navy game. Yes, I know that congratulations are in order. Now, I think there were some people in the live chat making fun of me a little bit, saying, oh, just, say, I don't even want to say it, but basically say the phrase that cheers for Navy. And I can't do that. I cannot do that. But what I can do, I see Drunken War Dog, very, very awesome Rumble name, by the way, saying go Navy in all caps. And yes, I get it. I understand that Navy won the game. And I must say, I went into this game, folks. You guys are watching you all reply in the chat. I must say that I went into this game a little bit complacent. Did you? I know I did, because Army was just so dominant this year. Our quarterback is up for consideration for the Heisman. A lot of things went right in the Black Knight football season this year. So I thought we were going to waltz into that stadium, and I thought that we were going to walk away with the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. And not only did that not happen, but Navy kind of dominated Army. I'm just going to say it. They, there hasn't been over 21 points scored in that game in a long time. But Navy scored more than 21 points and kind of dominated. Just saying. And it's so funny about Trump. I'm sorry for the coughing. This is the first time I've done a show where I'm like really under the weather and trying to power through it. I'll try to mute it when I cough so you guys don't have to be a part of that. But the crazy thing, I'm just so over this bullshit. Trump is there at the game. JD Vance is there at the game. Pete Hegseth is there at the game. Tulsi Gabbard is there. I mean, Dave McCormick was there. Susie Wiles was there. The whole Trump team was there. I think even Elon Musk was there. And I think CBS showed President Trump for maybe a total of 5 seconds the entire game. This is the Daniel Penny. Yes, drunken Daniel Penny was there. I just think it's shameful that here you have an incoming commander-in-chief and CBS just refuses to even show him. And I screen grabbed some of the video on my Twitter feed, and I shared it on Twitter and I shared it on Instagram. But the video during the national anthem, which the Glee Club, the Army Navy Glee Club, did an unbelievable job singing the anthem. But Trump just up there in the box, just saluting the entire anthem as incoming commander-in-chief. It gave me chills because it made me think to myself, my God, it's been 4 years, almost 4 years now, and we finally have a commander-in-chief who I believe really, truly loves this country. And no, folks, I'm just going to say it. I do not believe that Joe Biden and the communist Democrats love this country. I don't think they do. Otherwise, why are they constantly denigrating America? Why are they constantly trying to fundamentally transform the country? They do that because they don't love America. And another thing, Donald Trump just keeps posting these big-time wins. Over the weekend, breaking news, ABC and George Stephanopoulos ordered to pay Trump a settlement of $15 million for defaming him and ordered to apologize to Trump. And the interesting thing about this is that George Stephanopoulos did not want to go to discovery with Donald Trump. I mean, that's why they settled. They were about to enter a discovery phase where ABC and George Stephanopoulos would have had to disclose their email or text message communications as part of discovery. And something tells me that they did not want that. And as biased and as terrible as ABC and George Stephanopoulos are, what must have been in those text messages and in those emails exchanges for ABC must have been far, far worse. But this is like another huge win for President Trump, right? A guy just keeps winning. And so in true Trump fashion, anytime he wins, he tends to double down. When a strategy is successful, Trump doubles down on that strategy. And the man, in many ways, is just default aggressive on everything. And I have to say, as somebody who's run a couple of campaigns, I love default aggressive. And yes, Sneaky McGroin, I hear you. Whiskey in the tea, that would definitely help. Or Fireball. Fireball's good. You can hear it in my voice. And I'm sorry, folks. If this is annoying or it's bothering you, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can. But I hate missing shows. I definitely don't want to miss any more. I don't want to miss any shows for you guys. So there's just too much happening in the world that we need to talk about. So Trump doubles down on the strategy of going after the people who went after him. And David Axelrod said just before we came on the show, now Trump says he's suing the Des Moines Register and Seltzer because their poll understated his support. 60 Minutes because of their editing of the Kamala Harris interview, and the Pulitzer Committee for honoring the New York Times coverage of the Russian election interference. And he says, welcome to Hungary, as if we're some sort of like authoritarian regime, which of course you and I both know. We all know that nothing could be further from the truth. The Biden administration and all these fascist Democrats and these commie thug mouth-breathing Democrats, they're the authoritarians. What Biden has done to this country in just over almost 4 years is nothing short of a travesty in almost every sense of the word. He's destroyed once venerated and trusted institutions and weaponize them against his foes. It's disgusting. But Trump suing the Des Moines Register and Ann Seltzer, I think, is appropriate because we deserve to know what happened behind the scenes between Ann and potential Democrat operatives. Like I haven't read the lawsuit in full, but I've heard that suing for some sort of election interference. Now, if they get to a discovery phase of this lawsuit, and all of a sudden you are seeing Ann Seltzer communicate behind the scenes with Democrat operatives about that poll, then you might have a case for election interference, releasing a poll that is fake in order to suppress a candidate's support. That ain't good. And we all know, by the way, that 60 Minutes interview of Kamala Harris, let's face it, 60 Minutes is definitely hiding something. They completely edited the flow of the interview to give people a sense that Kamala Harris was saying and answering questions that she really wasn't answering. They were cutting and pasting and clipping the interview to make Kamala Harris sound stronger and more competent than she really is. You could make the argument that that is a breach of public trust, and that too constitutes election interference. You get to discovery phase on that lawsuit, and you see emails and text messages between CBS or 60 Minutes executives and maybe their hosts and maybe producers. You can illuminate what the hell is going on behind the scenes there. And the last thing about this is, again, the left is freaking out about this because they don't want to be exposed. But the Pulitzer Committee for Honoring the New York Times, you remember this was at the height of the Russia collusion hoax. The New York Times was one of the worst offenders of the Russia collusion hoax. And this really, really damaged President Trump's reputation. I mean, this is back in 2018. Think back to that time where the Russia collusion hoax first came out, and the vast majority of America, well, that's a bit of an overstatement. Not the vast majority of America, but I'll say this. What I intended to say was back in 2018, the vast majority of America still trusted our institutions. We saw the beginnings of a weaponization against the people. But really, back then, we didn't know the depth of corruption in these institutions, I would argue. And we didn't really see that until 2020, maybe 2019, late 2019, and certainly in 2020 and thereafter when it got really, really bad. But in 2018, the Russia collusion hoax and the New York Times coverage, you can certainly make the argument that it swayed the House of Representatives in favor of the Democrats, no doubt about it. So this is an important strategy for President Trump, not to go after his political foes. Folks, battle crew, it's not about that. It's about illuminating and showcasing for the American people that there are some very sinister things happening behind the scenes at many of these organizations. And while we all know that these media companies lie to us on the daily, if we can, to a certain extent, showcase the communications and make public to the world the level of corruption behind the scenes, shouldn't Trump do that? I mean, shouldn't Trump use his office as president to give a level of transparency to the American people? I think he should. I absolutely think he should. Okay, stay right there. I'm going to talk about Trump making deals and doing the job of president before he gets in as president. And then we're going to talk about the drones and the Democrats sabotaging him. Stay right there. Let me tell you about Sweetamine. Now, Sweetamine works. It's for chronic pain. If you're suffering from chronic pain, this is the box the Sweetamine comes in. See, it says Sweetamine right there. This is the packet that it comes in. If you're dealing with chronic pain, you should definitely try it out. I take this stuff every day. I swear by it. And people that swear by these bone broth trends, oh, bone broth makes me feel better. It reduces my inflammation. You want to know why? because sweetamine or bone broth contains glycine, and that's what sweetamine is. So if you're suffering from chronic pain, sweetamine is composed mainly of the amino acid glycine, and that is the nutrient our immune system uses to regulate inflammation. And most of the diseases that make people sick and die these days, well, they're rooted in chronic inflammation, mainly due to a glycine deficiency. All of those aches and pains that we feel as we get older are mainly due to chronic inflammation. Once daily serving of sweetamine provides 8 grams of glycine. That's enough to stop all excess inflammation right where it starts. With once daily sweetamine, most people feel the reduction in pain after just a couple of days. Sweetamine is also great for recovery after workouts. My boy Otis in the chat said he was drinking sweetamine during the show. He swears by it. Look, I swear by it too. I get lots of testimonials for people who listen and watch the show. I'm telling you, I wouldn't push this stuff if it was just bogus. I try it, I take it, I believe in it. You should try it too. I mean, it's not super expensive, and if it works for you to combat your chronic pain, well, that's great. Now listen, it's not like waving a magic wand and taking a Percocet and have your pain go away and you're like, hi. It ain't like that at all. It's like watching yourself grow in the mirror. You know, most people take it and they think, well, I don't really feel anything. I don't know if it's doing anything for me. Well, I didn't really notice anything until I stopped taking it. And then I really felt like I felt the pain come back. And so I'm telling you, give it stuff time. It really does work. A 12-day challenge trial pack of sweetamine is only $19.95. It's with free shipping and so completely risk-free. You use sweetamine just like sugar in your favorite beverage, in a smoothie, sprinkle it on your cereal, put it in a protein shake, and take it any way you want. All natural sweetamine contains no sugar, no carbs, has only 24 calories. It's perfectly safe for diabetics. You can get it at sweetamine.com. That's SWEETAMINE.com, or call 855-GET-SWEET or 855-438-7933. Sweetamine.com, 855-GET-SWEET or 855-438-7933. Use the promo code Sean. You'll get a $5 discount on your first purchase. Also, folks, smash that like button, please. That little green thumb beneath the video while I tell you about My Patriot Supply. We're all feeling pretty good about where our country's headed right now, but I'm concerned because it's when we let our guard down that bad things happen. That's why I always prepare for emergencies, no matter how good and comfortable life gets. The only brand that I rely on for my security and safety in an emergency is My Patriot Supply. Whether that be their emergency food kits, solar power generators, water treatment systems, they're the best in the business. And right now, folks, they've got their 3 months of emergency. They got 3 months of emergency food. I can't tell you, folks, they're awesome. I think the new deal is like $100 off now for Christmas. You've got to check them out. My Patriot Supply is the real deal. They're a great company. And we're so lucky to have them here on this show. They've been with us for a long time. So the promo code when you go to preparewithvnn.com is just VNN, but they're doing their 3-month emergency food kit now, and I think the sale is $100 off, but you got to go check them out. Preparewithvnn.com. Get your 3 months of emergency food. I'm telling you, folks, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, right? This isn't about paranoia. It's just simply about being prepared. Okay. And Donald Trump, right? He's the leader that this country desperately needs right now. He's already doing the job of president before he even takes office. Here he is down at Mar-a-Lago announcing the SoftBank CEO, Masayoshi-son, to announce $100 billion in new U.S. investments over the next 4 years, creating 100,000 plus new American jobs. Listen to this.
And we've just concluded a very productive meeting, and today I'm thrilled to announce that SoftBank will be investing $100 billion in America, creating 100,000 American jobs at a minimum. And he's doing this because he feels very optimistic about our country since the election.
Now, let me ask you a question, folks. I mean, coming over here to the live chat. Did you, yes or no? Have you seen Biden do this one single time in 4 years in office? Why couldn't Biden sit down with guys like this and strike deals, walk out to the podium, and announce to the world that these CEOs are ready to invest in America? That these CEOs, look at all the no's. Like, look at this. Like, drunken war dogs, hell no. Mama Bear G4, hell no. Actually, just no in all caps. Weird American, never. Glow, nope. Hockey love, nope. Steph, hell no. Texan, 290, no, no, no. Ultra MAGA hardcore, no. DH, no, not once. Exactly, folks. You've never seen Biden do that one single time. Folks, this is why look, it's still, the no's are still coming. You don't see Biden do this at all because I don't think he gave a shit about this country. I don't think he cared about the American worker. Everything about the Democrat platform is about knocking America down a peg. That's 100% what it's all about. And very few on the left have actually realized this. Van Jones, I think, finally has realized, he's finally starting to grasp something. And I mean, too little, too late, because Donald Trump won his second term. He's the president. We control all three branches, House, Senate, White House. But listen to Van Jones talking here. Had he taken this position and not tried to back the Democrat Party that was trying to arrest Donald Trump, that was trying to steal his business, destroy his legacy, use lawfare to destroy him, his family, all he had to do was recognize how formidable Trump was, and that would have better positioned the Democrats to do well against him, but they didn't. But listen to Van Jones. He seems to get it now.
How the hell did Donald Trump figure out the mainstream media is the fringe and the fringe is now the mainstream? How the hell did Donald Trump figure out? I mean, Joe Rogan is obvious, right? Like, we knew the guy had a big audience. It's not like we were like stunned, but like, how the hell was he, the 78-year-old guy who doesn't even have a computer and still like writes handwritten notes, how did he become the guy who cracked the code on, to your point, running a cultural, I don't even want to say campaign, running
it was a movement. Look,
heading a cultural movement versus a campaign.
Every one of your people knows Elon. Listen. Yeah, so everybody keeps, I mean, the problem is you have a framework in your mind that how can Donald Trump? Guys, can we cut it out? Donald Trump is not an idiot. Donald Trump, let me just be very clear. Donald Trump is smarter than me, you, and all critics. You know how I know?
Yep.
Because he has the White House, the Senate, the House.
Totally agree.
The popular vote. He has a massive media ecosystem bigger than the mainstream built around him and for him, and a religious fervor in a political movement around him. And his best buddy is the richest person in the history of the world, and the most relevant Kennedy is with him. This dude is a phenomenon. He is the most powerful human on earth and in our lifetime, and we're still saying, well, how was this guy? We look like idiots to ordinary.
You're totally right.
Yeah. Now listen, you heard this from me on this show quite a bit. It's not about, you know, brown nosing, trying to think of a way to say it. It's not about anything like that. It's about calling it like I see it. Trump beat a Bush and a Clinton in the same election cycle. Trump manages a business that has 50,000 plus global employees. Trump persevered through the 2024 cycle in the face of withering resistance, the likes of which few people in the world could have ever dealt with or have even dealt with. Not only did he come out from that, he came out victorious. He came out, listen to this. This is another thing. He continues to say, I'm not, look, the best revenge is going to be success. What they did to me damn near destroyed the country. I mean, listen, the guy has every reason in the world to go out there and fire and brimstone against his enemies. He has every reason in the world to walk up to that podium and go after the people that went after him. But he's not doing that. And in fact, by the way, folks, listen, I don't think enough people are talking about that. I really don't. I don't think enough people are talking about Trump giving people grace that, and, you know, the definition of grace is, you know, forgiving them, so to speak, especially when they don't deserve it, you know? But Trump is not doing that. And if we're to get back on a path where people want to start trusting this country or institutions in this country, look, that's a tall order. It's going to take me a very long time for me to trust the institutions in this country again. But I think if anyone can reform them, it's Trump. But I think Trump is very serious about getting this nation back on the right track. Obviously, he's already doing the job now. But I also think he's going to do everything he can to try to heal these divides. But I'll also say this as a cautionary note. That can't happen. Healing the great divides in this country. And I would tell President Trump this and advise him of this as well. If I were in the Oval with him, if I ever found myself in a position like that, I'm not saying that I ever would. But there can be no healing without accountability. There can be no healing unless the people who have done the damage to this country have not been held accountable. Because if Trump leaves office and this stuff just continues to happen, the social contract in this country will just continue to break down. And make no mistake about it, even though Trump is really rising to be the leader that this country needs him to be in the moment, the Democrats are trying to sabotage him every step of the way. The deep state is working overtime to try to sabotage this guy. I mean, Biden and the people behind the curtain, they are selling the border wall at pennies on the dollar to try to stop Trump from securing our border, which is a campaign promise that he ran on. Got over 77 million votes because of that promise. So Trump is now